It's the You Want It, You Got It podcast. I am Russ Attitude. And today we are speaking with Eric Orozco. This conversation already started, so let's get to it. How was that show last night?
Dude, the show was great. The venue is beautiful, but traffic getting in and out of that joint is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
passed. Go ahead.
yeah, it's like, they had this great idea for a venue, and I mean, like I said, it's breathtaking once you get in. But seriously, dude, getting in and out of that venue is a complete nightmare. We both remember Starwood.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Starwood was kind of a pain in the ass, once you got to like 24 and you got on the exit. Um, but once you got off the exit, you sit through a couple of lights and bam, you're in the parking lot. This place is just like all grass for the
Uh-huh.
most part for parking. So, if you don't have like a four-wheel drive or like, a car that's not slammed like mine, I have a damn XB that sits low to the ground. Luckily, we took my wife's SUV and we were able to
Oh.
get in and out. But I mean, with the weather and the way
Oh
the
yeah.
parking is, dude, it's a nightmare waiting to happen for sure.
When I go to my parents' house in Huntsville, I pass it all the time on the side there. And I'm like, man, first off, it's so far out from Franklin,
Yeah,
because
for
I'm,
sure.
and
Yeah.
actually to get to my parents' house from that amphitheater is quicker than going from the amphitheater to Nashville.
No shit.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. We were monitoring the traffic all day, or like from like 3 o'clock on. And I mean, we left Madison where we live. We left
Okay.
about a little bit between 7:20 and 7:30, got to the venue by 8:30, right? And we can see the sign and we can see parking.
Yeah.
Dude, we didn't park until 9 o'clock. So we had missed like maybe acts one and half of act two by the time we got to our seats.
So what they were doing is like there was no opening band. They were just somebody would go out play, then somebody else would come out.
Yeah, yeah. And then who wasn't playing was just sitting on like some couches and just hanging out. I mean, I would have loved to have been like side stage for that
Oh yeah.
that show last night. Saw Josh Freeze for the first time up on drums, and that was pretty amazing. That was mind-boggling. So that dude's
Wait a
so
second.
good.
So out of all the bands that he's been in, you've never seen him play once? Me
I
neither. Me
don't
neither. I haven't. I don't think
I
I have
don't
either.
think so. I mean, because I've seen a Perfect Circle before, and I don't think he was touring with them the first
Was it?
time I saw him.
Where'd you see him? Municipal?
No, I saw him it was at Bridgestone. This
Okay.
was probably between 2014 and 2016,
Okay. So
maybe.
recently, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I saw when I saw him, it was probably early 2000s, and Maynard being Maynard, half his body was red, half his body was black, and he was doing
yeah,
the female, whatever, half female, half man, whatever. That
yeah,
was a good
yeah,
show. I mean, they're good. They're a good band, man.
yeah, yeah. Solid. I mean, musicianship is just like makes me question why I even play music. Like, these guys are too good, man.
Oh, way too good.
Yeah.
But all right, well, let me get this real quick. Go and greet you, everybody. Today on the You Want It, You Got It, we got Mr. Eric Orozco. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Cheers. Yeah. Happy
Yeah, let me
Friday
cheers my
Eve.
little polar. Yeah,
Mm,
really. So, I'm I'm gonna say the last time I saw you was December of 2019 at
okay.
the Agnostic Front Show.
Nice. That's right. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys taking Underplay.
Nope,
Or no,
Guerrilla
Guerrilla
Warfare.
Warfare
Yeah.
played. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And that was the last concert I had been to until the other night when I went and saw Descendants.
No shit.
Nope, scratch
Okay.
that, scratch that. Hatebreed and Clutch in Clarksville.
Okay.
So,
Nice. They played Clarksville?
yeah.
Where?
Um, O'Connor's off exit one.
Wow.
It
Okay.
was, it's like an Irish fight, but they have a huge stage there, man. David Allen Cole's played there. Black Label Society's played there.
What?
I saw Enough's Enough and Fozzy there with Bullet
Holy
Boys.
shit. That's amazing.
Two different shows, but Clutch and Hatebreed in Clarksville, come on, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Um, and I would have saw you the other night, but I was like, I just found my spot and I stayed zone and left my phone in my pocket.
But what did you
Yeah.
think of the show the other night?
Dude, I have to say, I've seen the Descendants a handful of times. The first
Okay.
time seeing them at 328, which was the
And
Everything
then
Sucks tour.
who opened that show? I've been arguing with people about that show.
Dude, if you wouldn't have asked me, I could have told you.
I
Um,
my, I said Helmet, but I think I'm wrong.
I don't think it was Helmet. No, because
I think it
yeah,
was Helmet and Suicide Machine, or was Suicide Machine on Descendants?
Suicide Machines opened for Rocket from the Crypt and Rancid.
Okay,
That's when they were going by Jack Kevorkian and the Suicide Machines.
gotcha.
But
Yeah,
yeah, dude, I haven't seen real. I don't think I've seen them in a club. Well, no, I take that back because they played. Oh shit, what's that? Marathon Music Works a while back, a couple of years ago, and I went to that show. But it just seemed like seeing them at Brooklyn Bowl, which is an amazing venue,
love it.
great sound, great stage, good
Not
standing area, and like back to the sound is amazing.
yeah.
I have to say that was probably one of the most solid sets that I've seen the Descendants play.
I think all three
Not
bands killed it.
Oh, dude, yeah. Seeing the Adolescents again, seeing Circle Jerks, that was a great night for music. I'm glad I went, for sure.
Same. It was a
But I
last
was the
minute.
same way, dude. I think I took my phone out of my pocket to like shoot a video for thank you, and that was about it. I
Yeah,
was like, I've gotten to a point at shows where I'm just like, man, you know what? I'm not going to be that guy taking pictures that are just going to end up probably getting deleted off my phone anyway. So I'm just going to
facts.
keep my phone in my pocket.
That's the same thing, man. I see all these people taking foot videos, and I'm like, what are you gonna do with that video later? You're not gonna watch it, you know?
Right. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Uh, I think May 14th, I'm gonna go see Mr. Bungle.
Okay, where are they
Yeah,
playing?
Brooklyn Bowl.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's first off, it's probably the closest I'll get to see Faith No More. So get to see Mike
Yeah,
Patton
dude, and you'll get to see Scott Ian on guitar, so that's pretty rad.
and Lombardo on drums.
Oh shit, that's right. Lombardo's playing drums
So
for
it's
them.
worth it, it's worth to go.
Yeah,
I'm waiting last minute buy tickets like I did for Descendants, man.
yeah,
27
yeah,
bucks wasn't bad. So
yeah. I was bummed because like you know I've lived in Nashville since probably 2000, and then growing up in Clarksville from 87 to and then Oak Grove 96, shows in Nashville never sold out.
no.
You could always get shows, you could always wait and get a ticket day up.
Yep.
um this was my first experience, honestly, uh waiting, sitting on my ass and not getting tickets, and my brother hits me up and he's like, yo dude, he's like, have you gotten your tickets for Descendants yet? And I was like, dude, I was thinking about it yesterday and I think I'm gonna get online right now. And he sent me a picture and it was like sold out. And
Oh,
I was so pissed. But luckily, a friend of mine knows a friend of his that works for Descendants. So we were
oh,
able
nice,
to
nice.
get guest listed for that. So
That's
forever
cool, man.
indebted to that dude. So,
I would say, like I said, it's my first time to Brooklyn Bowl. I think it's just like you said, the sound's incredible, man.
yeah,
Not a bad seat in the house unless you're like me, short. So, but
right. For sure. Yeah, me
I
too.
was. Where were you at?
We ended up going uh where I guess the ramp for like maybe wheelchairs and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah.
We were standing on that, and yeah, of course we would move if somebody was in a wheelchair or something. We didn't
Yeah.
want to be the dick that was just standing there, but yeah, I
Yeah. I
mean,
was.
we pretty much had a bird's eye view. We were right next to the soundboard, so yeah, it
Oh,
was
I know where
great.
you were at then. I was on the
Yeah.
opposite side, closest to the merch. So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Word.
So all right, well, I got some questions for you, and I know you got some things to talk about, and we're gonna
Yeah,
probably be here for a while.
yeah.
But
Let's do it, man. Let's dive in.
all right, well, I'm gonna start off with you got some nice decks in the back there. You got the Barbie. I like the Ray
Yeah,
Barbie deck. That's one of my favorite decks of all time. I
yeah,
think one
dude.
day I'm gonna get that in my on my leg. But since we got
Nice.
skateboard, that's my first question. What got you into skateboarding?
Man. Let's see. This is 1986,
Okay.
probably. Um, I I don't know how old I was. I'm bad at math, but I have an older brother who's 5 years older than me.
Okay.
And you know, we were over in Germany. We were about to move back to the States, and we had just gotten into BMX.
All right.
And through
Sounds about right.
BMX, yeah, through BMX, we started seeing, you know, there was like skateboard ads. So we started getting skate magazines. Once we moved to the States, we moved to Clarksville. Pop
Okay.
got stationed at Fort Campbell, and we pretty much like dropped the bikes and just, you know, got into skating. And my brother had gotten a Vision shredder over in Germany
Nice.
at like a shop, and then I had like this random fat board with jaws on it. And it had like the pink, you know, like rails and the big bubble tail guard, you know.
Nice.
And you know, get back to the States and, you know, realize that that's not cool. So we had to get my yeah, like we had to get a board for me. And I got my first pro deck, Pal Peralta, Mike McGill at Van Camp's skate shop in Clarksville.
Nice.
I guess it was, would it be still considered 41A?
New Providence Boulevard?
New Providence, or yeah, either New
Because you went
Providence.
to the first location because they moved, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
was. So this is like 1987. So this is like
Wow.
the first location. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
But my friend's buddy, Willie, I can't think of his last name now, but he was working there, and I mean, I'm sure he upsold my parents on everything possible for that McGill.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, I still have the McGill. It's on the opposite wall.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Well, see,
yeah,
I was going to ask you that too. What was your first deck? Well, you already answered that question for me, so that's
yeah.
pretty cool. I think my first deck was a hand me down from a homie down the street. It was the Chicken Head, Tony Hawk,
Okay,
and
nice.
the grip tape matched the bottom of the deck, which was really
Oh,
pretty cool.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was really waterlogged on the tail, so it was kind of falling apart. So I talked moms into getting me a deck, and I got the Kevin Staub Pirate
Oh,
deck.
sick.
That deck will always be my favorite deck. I'm trying
Do
to
you
get a
still
cup.
have it?
No, it's probably somewhere in Germany when we
Yeah,
moved.
yeah.
Because we
Right
moved to
on.
Germany in like '88, and
Okay.
I had that deck then. And then after that one went kaput, I got the double kick Tony Hawk deck, the
Okay.
first one he did, and that was horrible.
Y-
It was so
Yeah.
bad. It was just like there was bad. But so
Yeah,
you know, go ahead.
this Barbie is an actual, it's a reissue. But my best friend Nate, who still lives in Clarksville,
Okay.
he got the Ray Barbie with the huge nose.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I loved it. I absolutely loved that deck. And that's when I got the Steve Caballero. That's an original.
I can't believe you
So
have that shit still.
yeah, dude, I hoard
For
a
the good
lot of
reason.
for good reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, you know, I get rid of a lot of stuff, but I mean, I hoard a lot of shit, you know. So
If you saw
yeah,
my base, if you saw my basement,
yeah,
um,
yeah. If you saw my parents' basement and my brother's attic, yeah, I still got GI Joes and He-Man and Star Wars. I'm not gonna get rid of it, but I'm just gonna let it marinate over there until they get sick of it and
but
make me
man,
bring it over.
that's cool though, because like not a lot of people have a lot of that shit still,
Yeah, yeah.
and you have the OGs from when you were a kid, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think my parent, or especially my mom, she before we moved to Germany, we had like these ridiculous yard sales,
Mhm.
and we had like the old school metal, like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back lunch boxes. And she was like purging a whole bunch of our stuff before we
Uh-huh.
left. And she sold those, and me and my brother still
Oh,
give her crap for, you know, getting rid of those. So I think that's why she was like, "All right, I'll hold on to this stuff." So,
yeah, we
so
just, I
moms,
mean,
if you listen, thank you.
were you born in Germany?
No, I'm actually a Tennessean, dude.
Are you really?
Yeah, my before my dad got back in the military, and I think it was either 81 or 82, he was working retail And he was working at a place called, I think it was either Rose's or Big K. And these were department stores that were around, I guess, like the Southeast before Sam Walton came over and took over. Department stores are like, retail, and like Walmart rules everything now. But
Yep.
yeah, we were living in Gallatin, Tennessee, actually.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I was born in Gallatin. So
No.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you are a local boy.
Yeah. I am a Tennessean that lives in Tennessee, which is kind of it's a rarity, especially living in Nashville now. So
And you can actually bitch about the people that move in.
exactly.
I've been
Just
here. I've been here 31 years. Well, it'll be 31 years this year. And
yeah,
this is home for me. I'm from Cali, and
yeah.
we moved to Germany, back to Cali, and then the base we were at closed, and we got transferred out here in '93. So I've been out here ever
Okay,
since.
right on.
So skateboarding. All right, that normally, you skate videos, you get to hear punk rock,
Yeah, for
metal,
sure.
whatever. Is
Yeah.
that what got you into punk rock and metal?
Yeah, well, living over in Germany, like, so I'm in like the third to fifth grade over
Okay.
there. And there were like two sects of kids, it's like you were either a metalhead or you were a hip hop kid. So metal kids, which I was a part of, we had our denim jackets with our back patch and our pins and studded bracelets. And then all the hip hop kids or the soul kids, the Adidas jumpsuits and,
Mm,
Kangos and all of that shit. So yeah, me and my brother, we were huge into metal, hair metal, you know, all the metal.
yeah.
And actually, growing up, like my brother's born in 70, I was born in 75. He was already a part of the Kiss Army before I was born.
Wow.
So he was rolling his record player over to my crib and playing his Kiss records to me.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we were huge into metal, into skateboarding, getting the videos and watching the comps that would come on VHS. They would
Yeah.
have like Dead Kennedys and Angry Samoans and all of the adolescents, all of the California punk rock bands.
Yeah, yeah.
So from there, we kind of dove into punk rock. And I would say probably 1987, it was still listening to metal, but relating more with like the punk rock crowd and listening to more punk rock. So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I started out with like hip hop, like Run DMC, L Cool J, and then I moved to Germany, and that's when I got introduced to fucking Suicidal. Like it was like seventh
Oh
grade. This
yeah.
kid's, yeah, I got into
Yeah.
all that stuff,
Suicidal.
man.
For sure. For
Token,
sure.
this kid, he was from somewhere, I think New Jersey, but he like brought me a Token Entry tape, a Misfits
Oh
tape,
wow.
Black Flag, and DI all on one cassette. And
Nice.
you know
Yeah.
what? Hold on a second. I know this isn't an issue, but the Bouncing Souls is playing right now. Do you hear that? Hold on.
Dude, I can't
No.
hear shit, man. I'm a musician.
Yeah. All right. I just really started listening to Bouncing Souls a lot lately.
Mm,
So cool. Yeah, punk rock is I knew of you but I always knew about you, and you were like the punk skater dude. And then
right.
I know we graduated the same year, but you were graduated Northwest, correct?
Yeah. I went to Northwest. Yeah, I went to New Providence Middle School, sixth through the eighth grade, and then Northwest, freshman to senior. Yep. Yeah.
So high school, is
Oh
that when
God.
you is that when we won't get too deep into high school, but is that when you decided to play music, or did you do that after high school?
Man, my freshman year in high school, I took guitar one. And I mean, it was, we got my parents got me an acoustic guitar um at a pawn shop, because that's what Clarksville 41A was
Yep.
notorious for, was pawn shops and used car lots. And yeah, I got this acoustic guitar and took guitar one. Dude, the only thing that I can remember learning from that year was Every Rose Has Its Thorns.
Okay, not bad, not
And
bad.
just basically how to strum. I couldn't tell you like what chords I was playing or anything like that. Um, Sophomore year, I decided I wasn't going to take that class, guitar two, because I didn't like the teacher. And then he ended up quitting or leaving. So I basically just like kind of self-taught. And I was already, I'd gotten a drum set in middle school.
Okay.
My parents bought my first drum set from David Gerke, who
Oh,
lived
okay.
like right up the street. The Gerkes lived right up the street from us over in Clarksville. So I got, I had the drum set too, but I really wanted to start playing guitar, um, and kind of you know listen to or play both, master of neither. So
I mean, I think you're pretty good at what you do. So
I
what was your
appreciate
first
that. Thank you.
what was your first band?
First first band was Victims of Society, which was I was probably, I think I was in the sixth grade, sixth or seventh grade, and it was with my brother, Charles Irwin,
Nice.
and Josh Rouse. It really didn't go anywhere. I mean, we took like some like bogus like headshots or like band photos, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there to incriminate, all of those named. Shit. Uh First
Oh,
band that I was in though, was a band called Freeloader. And this was after I graduated in 94.
okay.
And I had played baseball all through high school, um, t-ball, all of the little league. And I kind of told myself, hey, I'd like to go to college to play baseball. Obviously, I wasn't good enough to play baseball at Austin P, so I I had looked around for other colleges near Clarksville, and Murray State happened to be one of them. So I applied for Murray State, and I was like, maybe I can walk on and try out for the Murray State baseball team. Um, this is fall semester of 94. Go to Murray, Kentucky, and that lasted probably, I think, 2 weeks. Um, I realized that I was not meant to be in college at the time. I wasn't meant to be at that college at the time. Um, didn't really make any friends, didn't see anybody that I had anything, in common with. So talked to the parents, mom and dad, I want to come home. They're like, yeah. Ended up getting 75% of my tuition back, moved back to Clarksville. Got my job back at Little Caesars once I moved back, and about, I would say, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks after getting back from my failed college experience, um a guy named Alex Sosa and Jamie Worley come into Little Caesars because they were friends with my brother. They had seen him at the warehouse, and my brother had let him know that I was a drummer. So they come up to me and they're like, hey, we hear you play drums. Would you be interested in playing in a punk rock band? And I was like, sure.
Hell yeah.
And that ended up being Freeloader, which was myself, Alex Sosa on bass, Jamie Worley on guitar, lead guitar, and Cage Bills on rhythm guitar and vocals.
Okay.
And yeah, we were pretty much the unofficial house band of the warehouse, because we were always hanging out there. And if ever a band didn't show up or canceled, Big Jim, who was the manager and sound, or yeah, he would manager and like ran the door. He would say, "Hey, you guys have your instruments, or do you want to play?" And we would go home, grab our stuff, and piss everybody off that had seen us before. So yeah, yeah. So yeah,
I
Freeloader was the first real band that I was in. That's amazing.
and I don't even know where the hell I got this from, but I
Dude,
have
I
it.
don't even have one of those. Yeah,
Yep.
we had like we had won like a couple of like Battle of the Bands on Fort Campbell that got us like free studio time. So I have like a handful, I have like 2 CDs with our catalog on
Thi-
there.
this was recorded. Was this recorded at Black Cabin? No, where was this? Yeah, Black Cabin. Um,
Okay.
um, I know what you mean by being the house band there. Taken Under went through a phase, but up there, but it was shows, man. It was shows, and you were getting
Yeah, yeah,
paid.
for sure, man.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we got paid.
We had like I think Freeloader, other than always playing in at the warehouse, we did one show. There was a coffee house on what's the street that Black Horse is on?
On Franklin Street.
Yeah, we played there was a coffee house for a hot minute.
What was that
And we
coffee?
played there and we brought a punk rock band from Nat or from Murfreesboro called
Okay.
Ick. They were like Murfreesboro's answer to NoFX. They were amazing. They were a 3-piece band. They were so rad.
I have a flyer in my bedroom with fecal matter and ick on it together at
Nice.
Lucy's.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. And see, that was the other venue. I had found out about a Lucy's and struck up a great like working relationship with Mary, and she would have us down at least every other month, if not every month. We would drive down from Clarksville and play Lucy's, which was a great venue. Yeah, yeah,
yes. I didn't see many shows there, but I got to see Pansy Division there.
yep. Dude,
Who
we
else?
played that show.
Did you
Freeloader played. I don't know if it was that one, but we did get to play with Pansy
really?
Division.
It was
Yeah.
like 96 when I saw that, I believe. So if that was
Okay.
around, and then
Yeah.
but the band Fecal Matter, man, that was my first like Nashville band that I saw that was like a local band. I was like, man, these guys are fucking dope, man. And
Yeah.
then they
Yeah.
were around for a few years. Now I guess they're no longer a band anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had become friends with the guys in Java Christ,
Oh,
and
nice,
we had
nice.
brought them up. I'm pretty sure we brought them up to play the warehouse with us, but we had played a couple of shows with them at Lucy's. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
that's
one of
cool.
the Nashville heavy hitters. They were kind of like a Op Ivy, Rancid type like punk rock band. Yeah, they were great.
Do you remember a band from Nashville called Loppy Bojami?
I do not. No.
I should have picked. It was they were interesting. They were kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what kind of music you say, but they were good. I saw them probably about 96, 97 at the warehouse. I just was there. I don't know who I was. I don't even know why I was at the warehouse. But
Yeah.
so after Freeloader, what did you do?
After Freeloader, I tried some other stuff. There was uh a band called 5 Minute Major that I did with Jeff from Java Christ, and we did like one show. I can't remember if it was Lucy's or if it had become IndieNet. Um, but that lasted, yeah, one show, I think. But it was a great band. I would love to get bands that I have been in, that would be one that I would like to go back to and play again because I was playing drums in that and I always had fun playing drums. But after Freeloader, um I had started hanging out down on Lower Broadway, especially after I turned 21. We were always driving to Nashville and we started hanging out at Honky Tonks. And I
Okay.
got into rockabilly, and which led me to psychobilly. Um, Always been a fan of country music because of my parents listening to country music. And some friends of mine were in a traditional rockabilly band called the Hoptown Tigers. And they were always playing down on Lower Broadway at this place called the Bluegrass Inn. And their drummer, Matt, he had visions of something more than just like rockabilly. And he had started listening to like a lot of glam rock.
Okay.
And we kind of started talking, about, hey, we could do something, you could do Hoptown Tigers, and then, we could, start something else together. And I was like, I'd love to just sing. because after being a drummer and lugging around all that
Oh
gear,
yeah.
playing drums again was something that I did not want to do. And yeah, we Hoptown Tigers ended up having a falling out with their lead singer guitar player, and they just decided to go separate ways. And Matt and Steve, who played upright, Matt had kind of finagled Steve into, doing, this version of Hoptown Tigers. Nope, I take that back. No, yeah. Um, talked Steve into playing, what ended up being Hoptown Tigers, which we called Shockabilly.
Okay.
And what it was like a mixture of rockabilly and glam metal. We had this guy, Dave, from a punk rock band from South Carolina called the Rehabs, which Freeloader actually went out to South Carolina and randomly played a show with these guys. So that
Cool.
was kind of cool, full circle. And so Dave was the lead singer and guitar player of the band, the Rehabs. And he and his girlfriend had just moved to Nashville, and he was looking for bands to play with. So we incorporated him. And dude, I guess this was probably like 97, 98.
Okay.
And I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, this is like one of the most fun bands that I was in because it was like high energy, like rock and roll, but with like rockabilly tinge, if you will, because
Yeah.
we had an upright bass player. But Matt, our drummer, was like full on for showmanship. And listening to like a lot of like old school Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. And he would go to this place on Church Street that did like lighting
Okay.
and sound systems. And in the back, there was a box of random may not work. And Matt was like, why not? Let's have pyrotechnics at our show. So, uh, by the grace of God, Bruce at the end would let us use them. So you've been to the end,
Yeah.
the size of
Yep.
that joint. And here we are, this band that brings fake cabs, a drum riser,
To
because the
the
end
end.
doesn't have a drum riser. We would bring our own drum riser. We would bring dummy cabs, like two Marshall stacks, two Ampeg refrigerators that were just hollow, something that Matt made. And then we would have pyrotechnics, and he would bring, his own lights and fog machine. And seriously, dude, there's like a memory that I have of us coming out on stage, and we're all suited up. We would wear like matching suits with like tiger print shirts.
Oh
It's just like
shit.
complete cheese. Guy liner. And I remember, I have a pompadour, and so my head's full of like petroleum products, and I have polyester pants on,
Uh,
and I feel these two huge flaming cannons, like towers, just raise up like when Matt hits like this like symbol. And seriously, dude, I'm front of the stage and I'm screaming, and I'm thinking to myself the whole time, I hope I'm not on fire. I hope I'm not on fire. I hope I'm not on fire. And yeah, I mean, luckily I wasn't on fire, but yeah, that band, dude. I brought out my lowrider bike to sing a song called Rosalita that I had wrote. Um, we had a chainsaw that I brought out and cut up like a Britney Spears like poster holder that Matt had got from Tower Records. Um, yeah, we were all about theatrics.
Hell yeah.
Um, but unfortunately, all good bands come to an end. um, which this was probably like right before 9/11,
Oh.
and we were supposed to have this band called the Toilet Boys, who Matt was a huge fan of. I was a fan of. And they did about the same thing. They were garage rock, but they had a whole bunch of like DIY pyrotechnics. And unfortunately, the Twin Towers coming down pretty much like wrecked like their practice space, and they couldn't get to it, and they weren't able to tour. Um, and that show never happened at the end,
Oh.
which would have been huge. It would have been great. There would have been a possibility that we would have burnt the end down. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that that didn't happen. That show never happened.
Um, so Hoptown Tigers, where was Hoptown Tigers based out of? And
Nashville,
okay? And
dude.
where did
All
the
right,
name come from?
I said the
I
same thing. Yeah. Um, our drummer's mom, Sally Mae, beautiful person, beautiful
okay.
soul. She was from Hopkinsville. So when Matt and Chris were doing Hoptown, like when they were starting their rockabilly project, Hoptown Tigers just sounds like a cool rockabilly band.
Yeah.
It sounds like Stray Cats, but Tigers. So yeah, that's where Hoptown Tigers came from.
Yeah, I was like, 'cause I've always wondered that, I've heard the name.
Yeah,
I've always
yeah,
heard, I've always heard all the names of your bands. I just never
yeah,
had seen a lot of them. So after
yeah.
Hoptown Tigers, what did you do?
After Hoptown Tigers fizzled out, I started a band with Dave and Steve from Hoptown, and it was full on garage rock. We were called Small Town Death. Um, Again, I don't know what it is about me being in bands with town in the name, but yeah, Steve had come up with the name Small Town Death, kind of on the same like realms of the Jamestown Massacre, type vibe of um like names of a band. But this was just me playing drums. So I went from being a drummer to being a lead singer back to being a drummer. And we we put out just like maybe like one demo. Like I think Steve like had worked with a guy that went to Belmont, so we got into a Belmont studio, or
Oh,
got into a
nice.
studio that he was like interning at as a project. So I had the CD, and I had found it a couple of months ago, and I put it in my car because I still have a CD player because it's 2010. And
Nice.
that's I mean that was we were a great band. I loved that band, listening to the songs. I mean, because it was different from Hoptown Tigers. It was different from Freeloader. It was more of like a garage rock. Two lead singers, Steve sang and the songs that he wrote, and Dave sang the songs that he wrote. So Dave was more of the like the Lou Reed, Velvet Underground
Cool.
type vibe. And then Steve was more in the lines of like the Replacements, and just stuff like that. So it had a great like vibe to it. Um, but we were all like totally different people. Like we all had our own styles. Like I showed up and I have like spray painted like white shirt, and then Steve has his style, Dave has his style. We were a band in music, but as far as image, which image isn't everything, but yeah, we kind of like vibed on like our own things outside the band. But once we got together playing it, it was pretty rad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of sucked because that is like the first band and only band that I've ever been kicked out of.
Wow.
I still don't know why. Um, I remember getting the phone call from Dave, and I had been like writing my own stuff. I was living by myself. I had like an efficiency apartment over in Brentwood, in between like Brentwood and Nashville, or Brentwood and Antioch. And I guess I had like played like a couple of songs to Dave. And I don't know if he got the vibe that I was trying to like bring these songs to Small Town Death or what. And I just remember like Dave giving me a call and being like, "Hey man, me and Steve were talking, and we just think that, maybe you should focus on your new band and your new songs." And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it was like, no, we're Small Town Death. And yeah, I basically got booted out. And I had met a buddy who has moved to Nashville who played upright bass. And
Okay.
we started hanging out, and I would go over to his house and we would play some songs, and he would try to follow as fast as he could with, the punk rock strumming and, you know, Tiger Army type songs that I was trying to write at the time. And it's Nashville scene used to have like these great 4th of July and Halloween parties at a house over off of 15th and
Okay.
Church. And there would be huge keggers. And there's a huge parking lot right next to the building that had like maybe 8 apartments or 10 apartments in it. And some friends of mine lived there. And then Ian and another guy who worked at Icon tattoo shop, they would throw the parties, and there would be huge bangers. And me and Wes were there, Halloween party, and we met this guy named Danny. And he's like, hey, I play guitar, it's like we're kind of all into the same vibe. Um, we should start a band. And so this is like 2003. Lonesome Town Drifters is formed.
Okay.
So yeah. So
So
another band that has town in it.
so Lonesome Town Drifters, was that more punk or like punk with like some rockabilly influences or what?
It was punk that I was wanting to be more rockabilly, psychobilly, but I wasn't that skilled of a guitar player to play
Okay.
as good as Nick 13 or Brian Setzer. So it was more just like a Ramones core type punk rock with an upright bass player.
Gotcha.
Um, we had written some songs, like I had maybe like 5 songs written, and so it was me, Wes, and Danny, and we still needed a drummer. So we had or I had talked, I had made friends with Matt Yonkers, aka Matt Drastic of Nashville band Teen Idols.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Teen Idols had split up, and they had formed a band called Bullets to Broadway. And Small Town Death played, I think we had played with Teen Idols once. Small Town Death, yeah, we played with Teen Idols once at the Muse, and it was
Okay.
outside the Muse. So I had become friends with Matt. And so back to Lonesome Town, we needed a drummer. Teen Idols had broken up. This is in between Teen Idols and Bullets to Broadway, and Matt wasn't doing anything. So I finagled Matt into playing with me, Wes, and Danny. And he had also started, doing his own home studio. And he was like, yeah, sure, come over. I'll jam with you guys. And we recorded like 2 EPs, or 2 like demos, not really EPs,
Hmm.
with Drastic on drums.
Wow.
And that was a blast, man. I mean, he's like, I didn't really start liking Teen Idols until after I was out of Freeloader, because I always thought Freeloader was as good as Teen Idols, but nobody would come in and see us play whenever we were at Lucy's.
So Teen Idols has how long was Teen Idols around for?
Oh shit, man. I'm not sure. I had to check my phone.
I
But
I just got into them probably about 10 or 15 years ago, and
yeah,
and I didn't even know they were from Nashville.
yeah, Nashville band. Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah. So yeah, Lonesome Town was getting some stuff like recorded, and I think we did a failed show at the end, or not the end, but Springwater, which I had like this guitar that I paid $200 for at Media Play
wow.
that, decided not to stay in tune. And we had brought this psychobilly band from Chicago down called the Massacres.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a really bad show because my guitar would not stay in tune. But yeah, Drastic ended up forming Bullets to Broadway with Heather and Kevin, who was singing for Teen Idols there towards the end. And our having Drastic on drums was short lived. But we had replaced Wes with my friend John on bass, and he was playing electric bass, which ended up making all the sense in the world for the band because we didn't need an upright bass player. It was just yeah, it looked cool,
Yeah.
but it didn't make sense. So we got John on bass, and we played one show or two shows with Drastic on drums with John on electric bass, and did he was the John played on the second demo that we
Okay.
had recorded. And yeah, and then Bullets to Broadway came, and we lost Drastic, but John was in a band called Modern Zero with this guy named Aaron, who we ended up recruiting for to replace Drastic. And Aaron was our drummer um until I think it was like maybe 2000, it was probably like 2004, 2005. Um, and this is where Lonesome Town Drifters takes a hiatus.
Okay.
Um, we had played a show with this band called Defiance of Authority, and me and Danny absolutely loved the guys. We thought they were a great band. It's twins, Nat and Rob, and then I can't remember their bass player's name, but we had played a show with them, and then we played another show with them, and we just hit it off. It was great chemistry with all of us, and we were supposed to play this monthly thing called Punk Rock Party at a club called Hair of the Dog, a
Yep.
venue in it's over in what is called Midtown now in Nashville. And it was the Lonesome Town Drifters and a band called, Defiance of Authority. They were supposed to play, and I can't remember who else was on the bill. But I remember Nat and Rob showing up to the venue, and they're like, "Hey man, we got to cancel. We lost our bass player." And I don't know if I had a couple of bottles of loudmouth juice or what, but I'll be your bass player. I had never played bass in my life, dude. So, couple of days later, Danny hits me up, and he's like, "Hey man, let's meet up at Fido for coffee." And I was like, "Okay, Fido over there in Hillsborough Village." So we're sitting outside, and we're having a cup of coffee, and Danny looks over at me, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I'm thinking about joining Defiance of Authority." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "We have something." I was like, "Me and you, dude, we're Lonesome Town Drifters." He's like, "I know, man." He was like, "But these guys have ambition, and they want to do things." And he was like, "I don't know if we're going to be able to do that with LTD." Or we weren't going by LTD at the time. And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "They want you to play bass." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "We're gonna they want to practice." The twins were up in Murfreesboro at the time because they were going to MTSU, and they had a practice space up there. So we go up there, and we practice, uh, and I fumble through the songs. I mean, I was playing rhythm guitar anyway, and bass just seemed I was Sid Vicious in it. And Sid Vicious can play bass. I guess I can
Yep.
too. And
Wow.
guess and we ended up playing a Hair of the Dog punk rock party. And yeah, everyone was just like, "Oh shit, yeah, this is a good band."
Oh yeah.
So the next thing you know, uh I get a phone call from I think it was Nat, and he was like, "Yo, dude," he was like, I have some exciting news." And I was like, "All right." He was like, "We got a manager." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, our manager has this I don't know if this is actually how it went, but this is how I'm going to say it went. He was like, "Our manager has this clothing company with Kevin Lyman and Fletcher from Pennywise,
Oh, right.
and it's called Family. But they would spell it without the I because apparently there was no I in family. I don't know, but yeah. So they were like, we're going to be on Warp Tour 2006. And I was like, "Oh, cool. How many dates?" And he was like, "The whole thing." And I was like, "You got to be freaking kidding me." And he's like, "No." He was like, "We have to do this, dude." And I was like, "I work, you know,
Yeah.
I have a 9 to 5. I have my own place. I have my own bills."
Yeah.
And yeah, luckily the place that I was working at, we had our district manager downstairs and our HR person downstairs. And that was like one of the scariest days I had ever went to work in, thinking that I was either A, gonna actually be able to do this, or B, lose my job. And we worked it out.
Wow.
So like one of the first things that we did as a band um was Warped Tour 2006, the entire thing. And we had changed our name. Our manager, made us change our name from Defiance of Authority DOA, which you can't be called DOA.
Yeah.
um so we had changed it to Blacklist Royals on a whim. So yeah, yeah.
So that's where Blacklist Royals came from.
Yep. Yeah. 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 So yeah, I was in and yeah, that takes me to Blacklist Royals playing bass. A an instrument that I had never played before. You'd pick up your bass player's bass guitar at band practice and, you know, fuck around with it, but I had never actually played bass in a live band.
Wow.
And we got to do a lot of cool shit in that band. I was in that band from I think it was 2000. So I would say, 2005 till maybe 2012, 2011, I think is when I left. But yeah, I mean, the first half of, even when we were still Black or Defiance of Authority, we were driving up to like Indianapolis and playing like house shows and, coming back. And then we'd go out and play like Knoxville to like no one. But we were getting out of town, cutting our teeth as much as we could. Um, but yeah, we did that first like major tour that we did was Warped Tour 2006. We
Who
come
headlined
back.
that tour?
What's that?
Who headlined that tour?
I remember No Effects was on that one.
Was it the No Effects Paramore Under Oath?
Under Oath. Yep. AFI was on
Yeah.
a handful. Um, shit. Who else? Aiden was on that.
Yep.
That.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went to the one because me and Rob went to Starwood,
Hmm.
and we probably didn't see you guys because we probably didn't know who you were, and because we're you got to map out who you're gonna go see, what time you're gonna go
Yeah.
see,
Well,
But
what's crazy about that tour, dude, is what we did is we played for the crowd standing in line. We would find wherever the front of the like that main entrance was,
okay,
and like there were three other bands that were part of this like little traveling circus that we were doing that year. And what we would do is we would play to the line, and then we would sell our merch. We had a merch tent inside. And then if a band couldn't play that day, we would be able to play like the Smart Punk stage or the Volcom stage, which, you know, we had a handful of shows like that. But for the most part, we're playing inside or
Okay.
playing outside to the line, and then freaking hustling our ass off selling CDs so we can get to the next venue, the next amphitheater. And funny story about that 2006 Warped Tour, there was a band that was just following the tour, not playing it, just following the tour and walking around the line with CD players and CDs in hand, called Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
If you not, dude. And look at them now.
Yeah, huge.
Right. So,
Uh,
I mean, if Warped Tour was still around and kids are listening to this, I'd be like, do that, you know? But
That's
yeah,
funny you said that. There's some show I was watching. Maybe it was like the Vans Warp Tour, like backstage, whatever it's called, when they were like whatever they set up the Warp Tour, they follow the roadies around or whatever.
mhm.
And there was a band, and I don't know what year it was. It wasn't them, but they did a similar thing. They would they would make enough money to go to the next
Yeah,
show to get their merch out there, get their CDs out there.
yeah, for sure, man.
So
So yeah,
why'd you leave Blacklisted?
it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I was not having fun anymore. I just recently got married too. And you know, after doing Blacklist Royals for as long as I did, it was just time to, you know, it was just time to call it.
Yeah.
Take a step back and, you know,
Was
yeah,
it
I
hard?
mean, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but you know, like I said, I had just gotten married. And it was a hard decision, but it was the right decision because I mean, we kind of left on like bad terms. Um, and I didn't speak to the twins for a good while. And then it was just like, you know what? Screw this, you know, we're brothers. And I'm happy to say now we have a great relationship.
That's
I
cool.
was able to do, it was, I think, Fest 20. Yeah, because last year was 21. This is Fest 22. Um, or was it Fest 19? It was Fest 19. Blacklist Royals did a reunion show for
Okay.
our album Semper Libre. And you know, Blacklist Royals, we always played Fest back in the day. We played Fest 7 until I don't know what the last Fest was that I did with Blacklist Royals, but it might have been Fest 11 or 12, maybe 13.
All right,
Um,
real quick, let's talk about that real quick. Fest, how many of those have you been to? All of damn near all of them
um,
since seven?
yeah, I mean, since Fest 7, I have probably missed maybe 4, and we're going on Fest 22. And honestly, dude, going like playing Fest is a blast. I love playing Fest because, you know, especially back in the Blacklist Royals days. Um, I mean, we had a great following from overseas,
Yeah.
and these kids from overseas would come to Gainesville, invade Gainesville on Fest weekend, and we would see them. So like seeing them in Gainesville and then doing like the 2 European tours that Blacklist Royals did, it was cool seeing them, you know, in their country and them seeing us in our country. So yeah, I think I've yeah, I've maybe missed 5 at the most since Fest 7. So
Well, I didn't realize you did all that with Blacklist Royals. Now, so you said you guys went to or you went to Europe. How was that touring in Europe?
the first European tour was a blast. It was awesome. We had like great mapping, great crew that like drove us, and was, you know, like the housing and everything was great. We played some amazing shows. Uh we played with a band called Dear Landlord in Berlin.
Yeah.
It's like members of like copyrights and shit like that, I think. Um I'm like forgetting like what bands they were in. But yeah, we played a festival called Grows Rock,
Yeah.
which was, dude, that was amazing. Like we get there, we had we had played the night before in Switzerland, and it was a indoor festival, and it was us, Blacklist Royals, Old Man Markley, Teenage Bottle Rocket, and then the co-headliners were Dropkick Murphys and NoFX.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when we became friends with the guys from Teenage Bottle Rocket too, was that show. And yeah, we did that and then had to leave like right before Dropkick and NoFX to drive to wherever the hell Grows Rock is. Cause I just remember waking up and our driver was like, "You got to go." Like, where are we? And we're like in this field, and he's like, "Stage is over there," or something like that. So like, yeah, we like wake up, fresh ourselves up, and like go and play this, tent, like this huge like circus tent stage,
Yeah.
and like people showed up, dude. It was great. Yeah, that was by far like one of the coolest like shows that we did over there. Yeah.
That's
The
pretty
second
cool.
European tour was fun. Um and yeah, that was shortly before, yeah, we did that second European tour, and that's when I kind of started not having fun in the band anymore.
Gotcha.
And we came back and did Fest, and that was the last Fest that I did as a full-time member of Blacklist Royals. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to do some stuff though with that band, so that's awesome,
Oh,
man.
dude, yeah,
You
yeah. I
know.
mean, yeah, we could do a show
Yeah,
for
you're
like
right.
3 hours and I'd tell you about what I did with Blacklist Royals. Yeah. One of the coolest things, 2007, we're playing this, we go out to California to record an album, and we play this venue called the Cat Club. And it was owned by Slim Jim Phantom of Stray Cats. I think it was called the Cat Club. I'm not sure. But we're up on stage and we're playing, and our manager comes up to us and he's like, "Don't freak out." He was like, "But look at the end of the bar. They were here for the entire set." And we look, and at the end of the bar is Slim Jim and fucking Lemmy, dude.
What?
So I have a picture of us with Slim Jim and Lemmy. I can
That's
take it off
fucking
the wall if you
awesome.
want to see it.
Let me see that.
All right, dude. All right, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
All right. All right, check this out. Boom, boom, boom. Oh shit.
That's Lemmy, right? That's fucking insane,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool as shit.
Yeah, you can see me right here with this
Yep.
soul patch. And that's
Nice.
Danny right next to me. That was the original guitar player
Okay.
of Lonesome Town. Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah,
cool, man.
yeah,
The only thing
yeah,
I
yeah.
got is a only thing I got is a picture of me in Germany with David Lee Roth.
Oh
And
shit,
I
that's still rad, dude.
yeah,
Diamond Dave.
I got this man, my I don't know why my parents let me leave the house the way I was looking, but I guess that's why I looked every day. I had the gnarliest fucking helmet head, dude. It was so bad. But
Nice, nice.
so you were talking about working and stuff. Were you at Kinko's FedEx this whole time?
Yes. Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
mean, by far, that is like one of the best, like anybody that was in a band, Kinko's and then FedEx Kinko's was like by far like the best like job to have being in a band, because you could make some flyers, you could make
yep.
posters, and yeah, and get your discount.
Yeah. I knew Rob Flattery worked there. And
Yes, dude. Yeah, me and him worked at the Clarksville one together.
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
we go there and I go there with Slaughter and we get some Slaughter, we get some flyers made there, the ghetto shirts
Yeah, dude.
made
I
from there.
remember. Yeah, when I was still in freeloader. Yeah, I just started working at Kinko's, and I would make some freeloader stuff, and the guys from Lowboy would come in, and
Yeah.
I remember they had like that mammoth type like
Yeah.
logo, and
Yep.
that was like what was the lead singer's name?
Scott Trotter.
Yeah, he took his necklace off, and it was like he put that on the copy machine and like enlarged it, and it kind of distorted it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man,
that's
arts and
crazy though.
crafts with the Lowboy.
um, they're all back in Clarksville now.
Oh,
I
that's
saw
amazing.
them recently at Slaughter has a new band called Nero Vatra, and
Okay,
it's him on vocals and guitar, another guy named Mark, Charles Irwin from Low Boys on bass, which
nice.
now that you said that about him, whenever I see him next, I'm gonna bring that up.
Yeah, dude,
Uh,
Charles was in a band with my brother Matt. They were called Suede Tattoo. It was my brother, it was Charles, it was Josh, this guy named Kaylee on second guitar, and David Gerke on drums. Yeah, they
yeah,
were kind of like this. I guess this is like 1989, or no, this is early 90s, but they
okay,
had that, like that. They did like a lot of covers, and they did some like kick-ass covers. They covered the Cult, and they did some Doors songs. They had some awesome originals. But yeah, they were called Suede Tattoo,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
yeah, it
ask
was.
him about Suede Tattoo, man. See what he
Uh,
says.
yeah, see, he posted a picture one time of him in a band, and I think that's what it was from. He had some hair, and he had this fucking
Oh,
dope ass
dude,
mane. Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
huge
Yep.
mane, man. Yeah, yeah,
He don't have
yeah.
much of that now though. But so all right, so after the Blacklist Royals, I mean, what's
So after
next?
Blacklist Royals, I figured I was done. Like I was over music. Um I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna kick it at home. I'm done with music. And some buddies of mine, Robbie, who played upright bass in Hoptown Tigers, after Steve. I'm pretty sure it was after Steve. I can't remember. I'm
Yeah, I mean,
48, man. I'm old. And um yeah, Robbie and my buddy Matt, who was in Hoptown Tigers with me, and then this guy named Theo, who was playing guitar. They invited me out to join Hellfire Revival,
okay,
which is a psychobilly band, um, fronted by Saint Clark of Custom Thrills Tattoo Shops here in Nashville.
okay,
And I was like, all right. I was like, I'll come out. I didn't have a guitar. All I had was a bass. Um, so to like break those Blacklist Royals, like bad feelings or whatever that I, constructed in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell this bass. Which to this day, I'm like, damn it, why did I sell this bass? But I sold my Fender jazz bass, and I bought a Epiphone SG.
okay.
So um, joined Hellfire Revival on guitar, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. Cool music, very spooky castle rockabilly music,
Okay.
um, and yeah, it got me playing guitar again, which you know made me on the side, at home, start playing those old Lonesome Town Drifter songs again. And I ended up uh you know rekindling all the Lonesome Town stuff, to myself. And I played it for Theo, and Theo was all about it. And I was like, okay. And he was guitar slinger, could solo his ass off. And I was like, all right, cool, cool. Think I might have something. And then Robbie, he was like, dude, I'll play. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, well, we'll have an upright bass player in Lonesome Town Drifters again. We need a drummer. And I, by the grace of all that is holy, I still had double A. I still had Aaron's number in my phone, and I hit him up. I was like, yo, dude. I was like, you still remember those Lonesome Town Drifter songs? And he was like, shit, yeah. I was like, all right. I was like, you want to start playing again? And he was like, sure. So yeah, we had a couple of practices, and we had our first show. It was a Cinco de Mayo, and we called it Cinco de Mustache. And I made these little adhesive mustaches at Kinko's, where where I was working,
Yeah.
and yeah, we started playing Lonesome Town Drifter songs again.
Hell yeah.
From there, I was doing double duty, and I'm gonna turn on my light.
You're good.
Woo! Oh God, never mind. Um, you can still see me all right, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I'm playing double duty with both Lonesome Town and Hellfire Revival, and we end up losing our drummer Matt in Lonesome Town or in Hellfire to a band called Hillbilly Casino.
Yep.
And he wasn't going to be able to do both. So I got finagled into playing drums again. So um I started playing drums in Hellfire Revival and then doing guitar and singing for Lonesome Town. And I did that for as long as I could. Um Recorded two songs with Hellfire Revival that are on the Hellfire Revival Greatest Hits record, which is on all streaming platforms.
Okay.
I played acoustic guitar on the song Going to Hell, and then I ended up playing drums on a song called fuck. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look it
You're
up.
good.
Um yeah, but um it was a lot of fun playing drums in a psychobilly band, but I had also started focusing more on Lonesome Town Drifters, and I just couldn't do it. Skeletons in the Closet is what I play
Okay.
drums on the
And that's on.
Hellfire.
I'll check that
What's
out.
that?
I said I'll have to
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah. So I had to break up with Hellfire Revival and just, tell Chris that I couldn't do it anymore. Hard decision because I liked playing in both bands, but you know, um I just recently started bowling in a league, which I still am. So I would bowl on Mondays and then have Hellfire Revival practice and then Lonesome Town Drifter practice throughout the week. So it was like no free time at all.
Oh yeah.
And it was killing me. So I couldn't do it. So um yeah, went to just focusing on Lonesome Town Drifters. The Cinco de Mustache show, we had a band called the Simpletons
Okay.
open up for us. And we got we became friends with those guys. So Theo had reached out to us and he's like, "Hey man, I've got to leave the band. I'm moving." So we weren't going to have Theo on lead guitar anymore. And I had hit up Nate from Simpletons about if he knew any lead guitar players. And he was like, "Well, funny you should ask because Simpletons just broke up and I need a band." So we get Nate uh, on lead guitar. And what's great about Nate is he also sang. So Lonesome Town Drifters ends up having two lead singers,
Okay.
which I've always been a fan of. Rancid has two lead singers, it just brings a
Yeah.
great dynamic. Less Than Jake has two lead singers, Chris and Roger, both of their songs, great. So yeah, Lonesome Town Drifters had two lead singers. So back full force with LTD. Kind of have a revolving door of bass players, but we finally get Sean from who was in Simpletons on bass, and we record our first EP 615 with Drastic at Drastic Sounds here in Nashville. And from there, we did a handful of shows here in Nashville. And then we recorded our full length at Drastic Sounds, Grayed Out. Both albums you can find on all streaming platforms. Go to Spotify and give us a follow.
So
And
the first album is the black cover, right? And then the
Yep.
second album has
Yep.
like a face on it or something.
Yeah. That's a mixture of Mick Jones and some random old dude and Paul Simonon from The Clash. My brother
Okay.
designed it for us. Yeah. Um,
Um, there's a song on there on the latest one, that album. It's
yeah.
the intro of that album is pretty cool. When you're
Oh,
the
the
second one,
the second one. Oh yeah.
yeah. When you
Start today. Yeah.
you wait, is that the one where you're spelling out Lonesome Town Drifters?
That's on 615.
Is it on 615? Okay, okay,
Yeah. That's Thank You Good Night.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I'm like, damn, that's hard to do. I was trying to do it. I was like, man, that's hard to do. I can't do
Oh,
it.
dude, yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say though, both records are fucking amazing. They're good stuff, man. I enjoyed them.
thanks, man. Thank you a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
But yeah, so one of the crowning achievements that Lonesome Town got to do, we got to open up for Less Than Jake at Mercy Lounge. And that had Red City Radio from Oklahoma, and a band called Protagonist from I think they're based out of Florida. Yeah, and then I got Lonesome Town on Fest 15.
Wow.
We played Fest 15, we played Fest 17, and then we played Fest 19, 18 or 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So now is Lonesome Town Drifters, are they on a hiatus or is it
It's
kaput?
done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna open up
You're good.
the
You're good. You're good. I mean, if you want to turn your light on, I mean, I don't think it was too bad.
cool.
It's just a reflection of the. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good. Yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Yeah. Lonesome Town is yeah. I was hoping that we were gonna be able to keep it around. I had even tried to move to base, but pandemic just absolutely annihilated Lonesome Town Drifters. Right before the pandemic, Nate and Sean had started this other project called Second Self, and it was a
Yeah.
little more fast, upbeat. And yeah, that that kind of yeah, the pandemic, and then us not doing anything. We had lost Double A to the Tank Rats, and we had tried to find another drummer, but yeah, it just didn't pan out. So that actually happened that was canceled for the pandemic, which I think
Okay.
was Fest. Hold on, let me check my phone.
Well, that's crazy. I didn't know the second self that was members from Lonesome Town.
Yeah, that was Nate and Sean.
Okay.
And now Nate is the only one that's still in the band.
I see they do a lot of shit.
Yeah. They're great. I mean, their
Yeah.
drummer's amazing. Jesus.
Yeah.
If I could get him in the band, yeah. I I would buy a 12 passenger van. We'd get a trailer and we would be doing as much stuff as possible. Yeah. Fest 19 was the last fest that that Lonesome Town played, and that was the reunion show that Blacklist Royals did as well.
Wow. So you played double duty.
Yeah, I played, dude, and of all, like, it's kind of like pull like bands out of the hat when they do the drawing for like what day you play, and Lonesome Town played, like midday, and then I had like maybe 2 hours before I had to, go and play Black Ops Royals on the same day. Yeah.
Well, at least it's the same day. I mean, it's cool that it's the same day, but I mean,
True. Yeah.
I don't know how what's his name Mike from MXPX does that when he has to do Goldfinger on the same day. It's like
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
He gives it his all both
Dude,
gigs,
I think that's why he's in shape. Yeah, it's like he can wear the sleeveless denim, vest.
I know this ain't gonna offend you, but every time I see him, I think of you.
Nice.
For some reason, I don't understand. And it's funny because like you weren't a bass player. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I've always every time I see him, I'm like,
Yeah.
It's Eric. So,
I mean,
pandemic.
have you seen MXPX?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did
dude, I
not see
remember.
them when they played Clarksville. They played Clarksville. Back in the 90s, they had that Christian bar at the end of Franklin
Yeah,
Street, Spike and Crown.
dude,
They played there.
we went and saw Squad 50
Okay.
at
That's
some
old.
place over near like Franklin Street. Uh, if
They,
you've never heard of Squad 50,
I heard of them.
they were
They're Christian.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they were kind of like the Op Ivy of like Christian, like
Yeah.
Tooth and Nail bands,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, so pandemic, I'm writing my ass off because I've furloughed from work. All I'm doing is just like sitting down and watching, like I had watched all the Marvel movies like in order. And yeah, I just have this handful of songs that I had planned on bringing to LTD and just never happened. So um I guess it was like early last year.
okay.
I had reached out to a friend um, who has a studio in Franklin who also plays drums. And I asked him, I was like, yo, dude, oh, wait, hold on. Back that up. After Lonesome Town fizzles out, logo, thanks to my brother does a lot of stuff for the bands. If I don't do it, I definitely shout out my brother in all the Instagram posts. So if anybody needs work for their band, hit up Matt Orozco Designs on Instagram. Reasonably priced. He does a lot of stuff for Second Self too.
Well,
Um,
I was about to get into that too about um your art has always been top notch, whether you do it or your brother does it. You've always had some of the dopest merchandise,
Thank you.
uh,
Yeah.
I've always liked it. I mean, you always have a little logo, a little mascot, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, growing up listening to Kiss and then, and then punk rock, like Dead Milkmen, the Smiling Cow, it's
Yeah.
just like I always needed that, that logo, it was like I've always wanted that logo. Um, and then like once I started like Lonesome Town, and I did a lot of stuff for like for Small Town Death too. Um, just like being able to be a part of like the creative process. Um, yeah, is what I enjoy about being in a band too. So I've
Yeah. Oh,
even
yeah.
done stuff for my friends, the Catastrophes nephew. I've just done stuff for his band. He hasn't even asked me. I'm just like, dude, here's this logo that I
Yeah.
made you. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks.
Who did their demo cover with little thumbs up on it?
I did.
Did you?
The Catastrophes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
designed that for him.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
yeah. After SDA kind of didn't happen, um, still have all of these songs that need to be released. I want to get them out there, and I hit up my buddy Andrew, who has a studio and plays drums out in Franklin, and I'm just like, hey man, I'm pretty sure I was in an airport and I'm getting ready to get on a plane. I think it might have been when Laura and I were going out to San Francisco. It was either San Francisco or Austin for a trip that we had. And I'm like, yo, dude, I was like, does it sound interesting? And he was like, is it punk rock? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm sold. And I was like, cool. All right. Um, and I had been thinking about new band names, and I'm a huge No Use for a Name fan. And there's a song called I Want to Be Wrong off of the last record that they did before Tony passed. And the opening line is let me introduce myself. My name is No Concern. And I'm listening to that one day driving down Ellington Parkway, going either to or from work, and a light bulb just like boing. And I'm like, no concern. I'm like, dude, that's pretty rad. And I was like, that's it. That's what we're gonna be. That's what this project's gonna be called. And I had some friends that were like, dude, you should, just make it a Lonesome Town record. And I'm like, nope, Nope. Lonesome Town was a band. It was 4 people making music. This is just me and my buddy Andrew on bass. Or on drums. I was like, this is a new project. So yeah, that's where No Concern comes from. Um,
Well,
that's the newest project that I'm working on.
well,
And
that's
yeah, I play guitar, I play bass. I'd never done a guitar solo in my life, not even in Lonesome Town. And yeah. And then D is on drums and he mixed and recorded, produced everything. And then we had it mastered at Black and Blum by Chris Fogel.
okay.
Yeah. So
It's
that's where we're at now.
it's a good record. I've listened to it this week a few more times than normal just to get myself comfortable with it. I noticed the song Fested, obviously that's about Fest,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, dude.
so we've already touched the bases on that most of for the time being. Is there any future of No Concern playing shows?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just finding people to play with. Um, I've gotten Slug Life, which is on Grayed Out. That's an
Okay.
autobiography. That's not just a song, It's
Oh,
like the opening line, I'm checking out today. That's kind of like what I like to do. I get off work and I like to just check out, man. I'm gonna
oh
be
yeah,
on my
dude.
couch and slug my life away. But yeah, I've kind of, especially going to the See the Descendants, and then I saw Second Self play a couple of weekends ago, and I'm sitting out there in the crowd tapping my toe, and I'm like, all right, I'm 48. I need to hit the stage one more
Yeah.
time, at least a handful of more times. So yeah, second time. No Concern will be a full band. It's just getting my lazy ass in gear and finding some guys that want to do it. So, and
I
I live
hope
in Nashville, so it shouldn't be hard.
I would yeah, I would like to see that. I really enjoyed it. It's good stuff, man. The was these so these are all newer songs. They weren't stuff left over from like was this the stuff that's gonna be SDA stuff or is it just all strictly new?
Well, as far as uh like the opening track Straight Jackets,
Uh-huh.
that's written during, that was all how I was feeling sitting in my house during the pandemic,
Yeah. I kind of
drowning
felt
in
that.
isolation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was one that was intended for LTD. Fested was also intended for LTD. Um I think I had been fooling around with Comet with LTD too, but yeah, that was more. Take that back. Yeah, Swing and Miss was around the SDA, but Pull the Plug was an idea that I had. I kind of like that. It's a Lagwagon song. Um, that's kind of how I came up with that. Da 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 da. Shit, what's the name of the song? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real fast. I should have
Uh,
written all this down.
no, you're good, man. We didn't know what we were gonna talk about.
Yeah.
But we did. We did.
Yeah, Bombs Away.
All right.
Bombs away. Yeah, that's kind of like how I came up with that da 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 da. So yeah.
What's that song about? Pull the plug.
Man, another thing about the pandemic is like you kind of, especially with like Swing and Miss too, you kind of like you thought you knew who your friends were,
Yeah.
and then you find out who they really are. And I've always written like personal songs.
Yeah.
I've always liked love songs, and maybe that's because being a Kiss fan and Peter Criss being my favorite member of Kiss, Hard Luck Woman and Beth,
Yeah.
ultimate like, ballads. I've always dug the ballads, so yeah, it was just like kind of how I was feeling. it kind of was crazy. Like back in the early days of LTD, it didn't seem like I could write a song unless my heart was broken. It's like so. But I've always, I've always been like that where I'll check out an album, and if it doesn't have like a melodic, like just like banger, like ballad type, like it could be a fast ballad too. Um, I'm disappointed. I'm like, man, your last record had that, but why couldn't you do it again? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
shit, man. Bouncing Souls, Hopeless Romantic, that entire record is so good, man.
yeah.
And there's two songs on there, and I think you and I can definitely relate with these songs, but like Night on Earth and there's another song on there, but they could totally be in John Hughes movies.
Really.
Um Music sounds in my head. There are bricks for my view. Dude, I could
But
totally see that being played in like a John Hughes movie, like, with like Ducky in the background, pining over Andy or like,
well,
like,
that's funny you say that. I do that often. I'll hear a song and I could picture it in a movie or a scene or like a scene in a movie that I could make, It's just like,
yeah,
no, it's funny you said Hopeless Romantic because that's a song that was playing before
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but no, like you said, after seeing The Descendants, it kind of lit a spark on your ass. You're like, man, I have to get on that stage again, And
Yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
I've been out of the game since 2022. I played at my last
Yeah.
show. I had to get myself right, and in May of last year, I quit drinking on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, damn.
Is
All right.
yeah. So I had my last drink and then last beer, and then the next day I went clean sober, and I've been sober now. It'll be a year, May 6th. So
Oh, yeah,
um,
dude.
it's cool. But now I'm like, man, now I want to do music because I've never played a show in my life sober,
Yeah, yeah.
and I want to do that again. So I've always wanted to do a punk band. So I think that's gonna be up my that's gonna be next on my list here. I got plenty
Yeah, dude.
of love song lyrics like like Green Day and Descendants and all that kind
Yeah,
of
dude.
crap. You know.
Oh, dude, 39 Smooth, that
Oh yeah.
record, full
Ker-
of like, bangers for mixtapes, man.
Man, I mean, Kerplunk is just like a nothing but a love story about him and his
Yeah,
wife, or before she
yeah,
was his
for
wife.
sure. Yeah.
Um, with that being said about those bands, would you consider Descendants one of the OGs of the pop punk world?
I mean, they're like, pop punk or punk rock meets the Beach Boys, that I've heard that, I think Keith Morris said that in,
Really?
in Filmage, I mean, it's like I mean, you listen to those harmonies. Like I remember Freeloader. We did Silly Girl.
Really?
Um
That's a dope
yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah, we covered that. That was one of our covers that we did. But yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. And then I mean Ramones. I mean
Oh, there you yeah. Oh, for sure.
Joey Ramone was all heart, man. It was like, yeah.
Did you
So
ever get to see them?
yeah, I actually got to see Ramones. It was I think it was Lollapalooza 96. We drove out to somewhere in East Tennessee to like
Metallica
this
played that one.
Metallica, Soundgarden, Rage
Yeah.
Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Rancid opened up for Ramones. Like we were only there to see
Well,
Ramones. And then we found out like Rancid was playing too. We were like, holy shit, this is great. And then during the Ramones, like sun is just like blazing. And of course, Ramones come out in their leathers, and Joey's got on the leather jacket and he's got on his leather gloves, and they bust out like I don't know how many songs, and they take this quick break, and CJ and Johnny and Marky take off their leathers, and Joey kept his on for the rest of the set. He never took his
Trooper.
leather jacket off.
Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Woo.
yeah, yeah.
That's the bad part about fests in the summertime. They're so fucking hot, man.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
see, that's
remember.
what's great about like Fest in Gainesville. It's Halloween weekend or
Oh,
the weekend leading up to Halloween. And I don't know if you've ever been to Gainesville. Gainesville is
No.
a cool little city. No beach. It's completely landlocked. It's where University of Florida is. And what's great about Fest Weekend is that is the weekend where University of Florida and University of Georgia play off campus.
Oh,
They play like in Jacksonville or something like that, I think.
okay.
And so that entire city is just like overran by punk rockers and, ska kids and whatnot. Yeah, I highly recommend it, man. It's a great
Yeah.
weekend.
Is Gainesville a big punk scene there? Ska scene,
I
whatever.
mean, Hot Water Music came out of there.
Yeah.
Against Me came out of there. Lots of great bands. Local band called No More. They're from there. Less Than Jake's from
Yeah.
Gainesville. Yeah. I mean,
That's pretty
it's a
cool.
cool college town, man. I
Yeah.
mean, if Florida wasn't so batshit crazy, I would honestly consider moving to Gainesville. But
I
if I'm gonna move to Florida, I would want to move to like a beach town. So
well, yeah, Rob, his parents live in Tampa and
okay,
he go and
yeah,
I
St. Pete area.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, I went to Tampa one time. I went to Florida once in my life, and I think
yeah.
it was 2008, 2009 New Year's Eve, and to go down there for New Year's because Rob was living down there because he'd worked down there. And I've never
Yeah.
been back to Florida in my life. One time,
Yeah. Yeah.
Punk and Drublick Fest,
Oh, nice.
MXPX, Face to Face, The Bronx, Swinging Udder, Lagwagon, TSOL, Comeback Kids, Teenage Bottle Rocket, The Co-Defendants, this little band called Suicidal Tendencies. You ever heard of them?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's sick, dude.
and a bunch of
Are
other
you,
bands. Huh?
yeah. Are you going both days or
Oh
is
yeah, we
it
got to take. We're going both days.
that's sick, dude?
It's split up between 2 days because it's 2 day fest. So no, you
Yeah.
get two
Yeah.
nights of no effects. So
That's
that's pretty
amazing.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
see no effects at 328?
Yes. Yeah. That was and see that funny that you asked me that because yeah, that was the So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes tour.
Yeah.
Swinging Utters was the middle band, and Teen Idols were touring on Pucker Up, their second record. And me and my brother are in the crowd, and I look over at my brother, and I'm like, "All right, I like I like Teen Idols. Teen Idols are great, and I've been a super fan ever since." So yeah, yeah.
I got to that show and the tickets were sold out.
Oh,
I had this chick that drove me down there and she's like, "Well, I'll just go wait in the car." I was like, "No, you're getting in." And I was like, "Look," I talked to the chick at the box. I was like, "Look, there's no way you can just get one more person in." Wait, I think somebody canceled. Yep, they canceled. Here you go. So they got us in. So I got in right when No Effects started. So I was
okay.
stoked about that, man.
Nice. Yeah. Swinging Gutters were great, man. They're a solid band. That was I think that was we got to LTD got to play LTD version 2. Um we got to play with Swinging Gutters at the end. And I
Oh,
think
nice.
like Stuck Lucky was on that bill. Another great
They're
Nashville
still
band.
around. They're still doing
Dude,
it.
you know what's funny? I think it was I can't. I think it might have been right before I did start focusing more on Lonesome Town Drifters. I actually tried out for Stuck
Really.
Lucky and didn't make it.
What were you going to play?
I was gonna play drums, but
Nice.
I was far from a ska drummer. Yeah, and I had come from Small Town Death, which was just like garage rock.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was nowhere near that realm of being in a band. But I like to thank Jonesy and the guys for inviting me to at least try out for
I think
Stuck Lucky.
I think they played Muddy Roots last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hellfire Revival got to do um two Muddy Roots. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's a great festival. Yeah.
Did you play the one with Black Flag?
No. When we played it, they, I don't think they had started getting like all of those heavy hitters like they have
Gotcha.
here in the last, it seems like the last 4 or maybe 5 years, they've had just like absolute bangers.
War.
Like Cro-Mags played last year, Suicidal Tendency played.
Suicidal. Yep.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I know a lot of people that go.
yeah. But yeah, Lonesome Town, or not Lonesome Town, No Concern. I'm doing a lot of pre-production. I mean, there's so many songs that I had for this, like, after pandemic Lonesome Town Drifters that just never happened. So there's a handful of those, and then I'm pulling a lot from bands that I'm listening to while at work. Just trying to do, not something completely different, but just like more of like that style. Like I was,
From that area,
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um,
Were
this is
you
the actual this is a Tiki mug that is on the No Concern. Hello, my name is No Concern record.
now are you going to make hello my name is no concern stickers? I mean, I know you had the names and you wrote them on there, but are you gonna make
Yeah,
those
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make those. Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
great that's a great thing.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna do I have a ukulele version of Fested that I think I'm gonna record for the next EP.
Really? That'd be
Yeah,
cool. That'd be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I had left uh FedEx office back in July, and on my way home I stopped at Sam Ash, and I had always, like, I'd been toying with the idea of getting a ukulele, and I was like, you know what? I've been with this company for so long, and today was my last day. I'm gonna get a ukulele. So I bought one, and I started banging away on that thing, and I'm pretty sure I'm not playing the right notes, but I figured out I want to be sedated. Can hardly wait by Replacements. Uh, I've figured out Just Like Heaven, I think. So
Nice.
yeah, there
Have you
might be a No Concern ukulele album coming out soon too. So
have you seen that little like 10-year-old kid who was playing a ukulele and he did like
yeah,
with, like no effects and shit, just playing all that shit,
right,
man?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
and Mikey and his uke. Um,
That thing's pretty cool. I like watching that shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does a lot of great stuff, man. I mean, his videos that he put out during the pandemic helped keep me sane too, man,
Yeah.
because he would get together with all these amazing musicians
Oh yeah.
and put out a banger.
Well, what's
Yeah.
he? I don't call me. I mean, I'm I'm not knowing this, but what is he from a band?
Yeah, they're called the Fairmonts. And
Okay.
it's Ramones core. So if you
Okay.
like the Queers, you like Teen Idols, you
Yeah.
like Teenage Bottle Rocket, yeah, yeah, they're
Cool.
great. Yeah,
I'll check
I
him out.
got I fell into them one day at work, just listening to them in the earbud, and yeah, yeah, they got some good stuff, man. They got some
Cool. I'll check
bangers.
him out. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed his videos too, though. A few months back, and I think actually he's still doing them when he was doing the
yeah,
tribute to the 30-year anniversary for Dookie, and
yeah, yeah.
he had Milo do what did Milo just do with it was it Basket Case that he did? I
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, I enjoy all the covers. The Tony Hawk ones are great. Those are the best
Oh,
ones,
dude. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
um, so so you said more recording from No Concern.
Yep.
You gonna do another EP? Or you gonna do a full length or?
I don't know. It might just be, it might be an EP. It depends. I mean, with my schedule and Andrew's, we kind of just get together when we can and try to hammer out as much stuff as we can during those sessions. So we like to keep it loose, keep it fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
if
that's
it
what
ain't
it's all about, man.
having fun,
Yeah.
yeah. If it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another, yeah, yeah. That's, yeah, definitely why I had
Uh,
to,
I mean, we
when it
gotta do what we
stops
gotta
being
do.
fun, that's when it stopped. That's when it's time to stop doing it.
And it's funny you say that because everybody in Tool now says it just is like a job now. It's not even it's not fun anymore. It's just like we send each other to music, we do our
Yeah,
thing, and then we get on our little buses and we do our own thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, what was your most memorable show you've ever played?
Hmm. All right. This is Blacklist Royals 2007.
Okay.
Um, we had gone out there that was the same trip that we met Lemmy on. And so, yeah, this is House of Blues, and we're opening up for Pennywise and Circle Jerks. And Ignite is the co-opener, or yeah, they played after us. Um, and I'd never been to a House of Blues show, didn't know what to expect. None of us did, I don't think. And we get there and we have our green room and we're sharing with the guys from Ignite, and there's some beers and like veggie tray and bullshit, right? And it's time for us to go out and kick off the show. And we're all thinking to ourselves, there's not going to be anybody here. It's early. It's Sunset Strip, no, everyone's stuck in traffic, right?
Yeah.
And there's this huge curtain that separates you from the crowd,
Okay.
that drapes down in front of the stage. So, we're ding 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 ding, tuning up and everything. And we look at each other and we're like, all right, it's time to shit and get. And that uh freaking curtain drops. Sold out crowd, dude. And it was just like, let's bring it. And
Hell
yeah, so
yeah.
that
That-
was, yeah, we had some clapping, we had some good crowd participation. Everybody seemed to get it. So yeah, it was cool, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
Pennywise, Sickle Jerks, and Ignite. Come on.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, one that is, speaking of Descendants, we were in I think we were playing Fort Wayne, and we were coming back towards, this is Blacklist Royals. We were coming back towards Nashville. Had toured out west and we were coming back. And we played Fort Collins, and playing like I can't remember the name of the venue, but we ended up running into Brandon from Teenage Bottle Rocket and his wife, and they had no idea that we were in town. We had no idea they lived there. So, we're hanging out and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll come to the show. And you guys can stay at our place. And we're like, sick, a clean house to sleep in, not, just like some squat. And we get there, and frickin' John Snodgrass from like Armchair Martian and Drag the River is hanging out at this bar, and fucking Carl Alvarez and Bug from Descendants
Yeah.
are there. And we have to play in front of like these legends, right? And I remember walking up to Carl after the show, and I apologized to him. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. He was like, what? I was like, you had to watch me play bass. And he's just like, a big smile on his face and laughs. And he was like, no, man, you guys were great. That was cool. There was a lot of cool shit, man. Just that I was able to do in Blacklist Royals that I'm in forever in debt, to. I mean, it's just like so many memories. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
for
I should
sure.
write a book.
The memoirs of Eric.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, touring, I mean, that's every band, that's every boy's dream.
Yeah.
And then you put out a vinyl. I mean,
Yep.
that's cool. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, you're on a label. You went to Europe. I mean, you've done it all with that band, So, I mean,
Yeah. We were very fortunate, man. We came out on Paper and Plastic, which was founded and ran by Vinny from you know, first drummer of Less and Jake.
Mhm.
and he had done Fueled by Ramen, before Paper and Plastic.
So is that the
Um,
same label then? Is that like a spin off of Fueled by Ramen?
I don't think so. I think like he had sold all of his rights to Fueled by Ramen, and then he started Paper and Plastic. And
Now
Paper
Fueled
and
by
Plastic,
Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Well, Fueled by Ramen that was from Franklin, right? Tennessee?
I'm not sure. Not
Okay.
100 because I
Yeah.
know like your Paramore was on Fueled by
Yeah.
Ramen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead.
But yeah, Paper and Plastic, it was a Gainesville label,
Uh-huh.
or out of Gainesville, and it had a band called A Riot Before that we toured with. Great. Check them out. Band called Nothington. Protagonist was on there. Um Greenland is Melting, Coffee Project, just a lot of great bands that our first record was released off of. And then touring Germany, we didn't have to take any records over because we had European distribution too.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, a label called Gunner Records, and they put out. We had a European release called Graveyard Shifts or something like that. Yeah, that was the last. That was the second record that we were kind of touring with on the second tour, that second European tour that we did.
So
Yeah,
you recorded both records then?
yeah.
Okay.
I had been a part of like when they were writing a lot of the songs for Die Young with Me, but I did not play on any of those songs. Yeah, I
Gotcha,
had left
gotcha.
the band when Die Young with Me came out, or yeah, right before it did. Yeah.
That first record, there's that Bruce Springsteen cover on there, correct?
Oh yeah, The Promised
Yeah.
Land. Yeah,
What was
that
what
was
would who wanted to do that, or was that just a band decision?
um like the twins, Nat and Rob, their parents huge Springsteen fans, which
Okay.
they were Springsteen fans. Um, my parents Springsteen fans, so I mean I remember when we lived in Germany, Born in the USA came out, and long trips. You lived in
Yep.
Germany. There were long
Oh
trips
yeah.
that we would take that we're in the car and we're listening to at least both sides, if not a side and a half
Yep.
of the tape. Um, yeah, so I mean, you could put on like, Born in the USA, and I'm going to, know the lyrics to pretty much every freaking song, dude. And
Facts.
what's funny about that is every time I hear Glory Days off of the Born in the USA album, I'll text Nat and Rob, and I'll just say, in the wink of a young girl's eye, Glory Days. That's, that's all I have to say, man.
You
So yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's when you hear a song sometimes it's like, wow, it takes you back to the days, like
yeah.
there's several songs that you hear and you're like, you remember what you were doing at that time of your day or time of your
Yeah.
life.
Dude, speaking of, when there's the song on both the EP 615 and Grayed Out, the song that I sang on that one time. That song is about my time in Blacklist Royals.
Really?
Um yeah, the last we did Warp Tour 2010, I think it was, and we were on we were on a full month or a month and a half. One of the best times I'd ever been on Warp Tour. I mean, we had catering, we had everything, dude. It was so much fun. But I don't know who it was, but somebody brought uh All American Rejects CD that has Dirty Little Secret on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I shit you not, man. Every morning we would be asleep in the van, and I don't know, like, I think it was like multiple people would do it or whatever, but you would just get woken up to dun, 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 just blasting in the van, and everybody would fucking wake up and just turn that shit off. But Hellfire Revival is in Atlanta playing a show, and me and my wife go down, and um we're on our way back to the hotel that we were staying at that night, and Dirty Little Secret comes on the radio. and I just get this, just this idea in my head, and I run inside the hotel room, and I grab my guitar, and that I hear that song, and it's taken me back. The opening line of that one time, bam, that's what it was.
Really?
Hearing that song and making me, reminisce about those days in Blacklist Royals. So
There it is, right
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. And that's what's great about music, man. Like you said,
Yeah,
dude, you hear a song and you're just like, it takes you back to where you want to be or where you were. And yeah,
I feel music, man. Music is. I'm glad there's music because music
yeah, yeah,
is so helpful in whether you're down or whether
yeah,
you got a song for a celebration, you got a song to pick
yeah,
you up, but
yeah, yeah.
music's awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not that I want to lose like my sight or my hearing, but take my sight before you take my
Oh
hearing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you can't hear, you still get the vibration, so you could still at least get the,
True, true. Yeah,
yeah, I don't want to be either though.
yeah. Fair
Um,
enough. Yeah, yeah.
you still at Kinko's or FedEx?
No, no, no. I,
No.
I have got a new job. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I work for Vanderbilt,
Oh,
printing services. Still doing the print jobs,
yeah, yeah. Well,
but it's for the university. So
that's
yeah, it
cool,
was it
man.
was time to leave. It was time for a change. I had gone as far as I could, and yeah, yeah.
How many years?
28, dude.
Uh,
No, yeah, yeah. I started in 96 and I left last year. Yeah, 27,
wow,
27 or
man.
28. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
insane. That's a
yeah,
long
yeah, yeah.
time.
Yeah, and I mean, especially for a touring musician. I mean, not everybody can do that. I
No.
have so many friends that are touring musicians, and they bar back or they bartend, or
Mhm.
they have random construction jobs that they get while they're home, and then they hit that white line, and
Y- That's the thing nowadays you see too. A lot of these bands don't tour full anymore. They do like a weekend here, weekend there, or
yeah,
and
yeah.
but I mean, it's cool that your job will let you do a week here or a weekend, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah, yeah, I was very fortunate. Yeah,
So
yeah, and I will forever, yeah, thank the FedEx Kinko's
for many
family.
things, for
Yeah,
many
for many
things.
things. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
um, well, let's see, man. We've been you're right. You were right. We're gonna talk. No, I don't kid.
Yeah, dude.
I So there's some questions that I was gonna ask you, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask these questions because I ask everybody these questions. But I'm gonna ask you just real quick. I'm gonna give you three questions or four questions, and there's just one answer, all right? Well, who's your
Cool.
favorite singer?
Man, favorite singer. I mean, are we talking genre or are we talking just like in general?
All right, 'cause you got me there. All right. We'll go metal.
Ooh, metal. Bruce Dickinson.
Why did I know you were gonna say that?
Yeah,
Um.
dude. Yeah, I've got
Uh.
an Iron Maiden tattoo, dude. That says Maiden 75.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's pretty dope. Punk rock.
It is a toss up between Trevor Keith and Tony Sly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't know and then what's your favorite? And then your favorite rock musician or singer? Sorry.
Tom Petty.
All right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's your favorite band in punk rock?
Favorite band in punk rock, Face to Face. Face to Face and like No Use for a Name is like right there,
Nice.
Um, yeah, I was yeah, like the early days of Lonesome Town Drifters, I had it was like a superstition or whatever that I would have to listen to Big Choice on my way to the venue that
Really?
we were playing. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I never had any superstitions before shows.
yeah.
Um, who's your favorite metal band? Iron Maiden?
It would either be Iron Maiden or Kiss. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was listening to a lot of early Kiss the other day. They were so good. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just the makeup coming off. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I stuck with them. I stuck
Oh
with
yeah,
them.
same. Carnivals of Souls, I thought was a decent record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They try to get that last
Revenge
kick.
was amazing. Revenge was a hard record.
That was like
Yeah.
a. Would you say that was a comeback album or
Oh
a
yeah,
research?
yeah, yeah. That was like, fuck you guys, we're Kiss. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that was a heavy record too for
Yeah,
them.
dude. Domino, Unholy. Those were some bangers, man.
Yeah, I I
Um,
uh, I got to see them a few times.
yeah,
Um,
one of my first concert was Kiss.
really.
I was either 4 or 5, and my dad took me and my older brother to see Kiss. And it was the Dynasty tour as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I,
Yep.
my first concert was Living Color in Germany.
Nice. In the Urban Dance Squad?
No, they weren't there.
Oh,
That
yeah,
dude,
I saw
not many
Living Color
people. Where'd you
in
see them
Urban
at?
Dance Squad at Vanderbilt.
Really, not many people know about Urban Dance Squad, man.
Dude, that
That
deeper shade of soul, baby.
dude. You know how I got into them?
How's that?
Pump up the volume.
Nice.
I got into a lot of like MC5. That's how I found out
Yeah.
about them. And the Descendants was through Pump Up the Volume. Welcome to the Wiener
Nice.
Schnitzel. Um,
um,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you weren't gonna ask me, favorite hip hop singer,
That was it. Go ahead.
Q-Tip. Q-Tip,
Really?
dude. If I could rap, I would want to sound like Q-Tip, man.
I
Q-Tip or
get
Fife.
Fife right there. Fife all day.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think okay, for me personally, I like Tribe Together. I
yeah,
like I liked a few Q-Tip songs solo, but I wasn't really a fan of solo Q-Tip. Maybe I need to
yeah.
go
I don't.
back and listen to them
Yeah,
again.
I don't really think I listened to much of that, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember working at Opryland, and a friend that I worked with. Oh shit! What happened?
You're
There I
still
am.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This was, I was working at the Opryland theme park. So this was like 92 or 93, the summer of 92 or 93. And
Yeah.
he let me borrow Low End Theory. And I was just like,
They
yeah,
were
I'm gonna
great.
try. Yeah, yeah.
That's funny you say Opryland. I'd never been there.
What?
Yeah, I never went.
Yeah, I did.
I when did it close? Like 96, 97?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would say for
yeah.
me, my favorite hip hop artist is LL.
Oh,
You
yeah, yeah,
I like some like early LL because that's what I kind of got into first. You know, I kind of stick
yeah,
with like people are like, "Who's your favorite bands?" It's like I always stick to whatever artist got me into that genre. Like
yeah, yeah. I
that.
remember when we were living in Germany, a friend of my brother's, this guy named Reggie, we had a basketball goal in front of our complex, and Reggie, he was also into BMX. He had a beautiful CW
Oh, nice.
bike. It was so sick, but he would bring his boombox out to the just huge boombox, and he would bring his boombox out to the basketball court, and that's how I got in. Like that's how me and my brother got introduced to Run DMC, LL Cool J,
Yeah.
Fat Boys, all the early hip hop. Yeah,
Yeah, that's some good
yeah,
shit, man.
yeah, dude.
I always like that shit. You know, you're just like me though. Your taste in music is so everywhere. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
dude, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the fact that we were born when we were born, I just think the music was meant. I'm not saying that music, like in the '90s or whatever, doesn't mean anything, but I mean, we had the '70s,
Yep.
we had the '80s, and then the '90s. You know, shit. This new music called grunge. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Um, I mean, think about it. We've had 50 years of like not, 50 years, 50 decades of music.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but then you ever hear a song and you're like, how the hell do I know these words to this song? Like, I don't even know if I heard this song, but I'd be like, you sing
yeah.
along.
Dude,
Um,
funny story real fast. Columbia House, get
oh,
10 CDs for 12 or for a penny.
yep.
Um, Cracked Rear View Mirror by Hootie and the Blowfish. That was one of the ones that I bought, and I didn't let anybody know, but I'm letting everybody know now, obviously. But my parents they moved to Columbia, Tennessee in like 2000, and I moved to Nashville. So cleaning out my closet, and I have all of these boxes, and buried underneath of one of the boxes by itself was Hootie and the Blowfish CD, dude.
Do you still have it?
I probably sold it in my like early 20s when I really needed money.
Been there.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you go back and try to rebuy some of the old shit that you had?
Dude, when I had an iPod, yeah, before like Spotify, yeah, I was going and buying a lot of CDs at like Great Escape just to put on my iPod.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Are you
had the
correct?
iPod like Legacy that held like a million songs or whatever.
This is
Yeah.
this, I still got this bad boy right here.
Dude, yep.
This
Yeah,
one is
yeah.
160 gigabytes.
I think that's the one that I have. Yep.
Um, well, I mean, what shit you're saying that with the music. What do you feel about Spotify?
Man, it's a double-edged sword, you know? I mean,
I'm an
it,
artist.
yeah. I mean, I listen to a band and I'm like, why didn't we get into these guys? I'll hit my brother up. I'm like, why didn't we listen to these guys back in the day?
Yeah.
And one of his number one responses is, we lived in Clarksville, you know?
Fact.
And number two, I mean, we bought whatever we saw on Headbangers Ball or 120 Minutes. And a
Yep.
lot of the bands that we saw on 120 Minutes, Sound Shop and whatever other record store that we had in Clarksville didn't carry it. So the fact that you can go listen to that music now streaming, it kind of has its
That's how I feel. I mean, there's a lot of bands that I never listened to before that I've gotten into
yeah,
now because I'm able to listen to it. Because when you pull up an artist, you're like, oh, and then it's like artists you may like. I'm like, oh, let me
yeah,
check these guys out. Like you said, Face to Face. Probably last 10 years I got into them and they're really good.
yeah,
There's a lot of bands like that, but I don't, it is what it is. People are going to complain about it. It is what it is. I
yeah,
buy what I want. I still buy vinyl. I still buy
yeah.
cassettes.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Battery on my laptop is getting ready to die, man.
All right. Well,
Um,
we can cut this, man. Eric, is there anything you want to tell the people out there where they can find you at?
uh, Spotify, no concern. Um, yeah, give us a follow. Uh, those followers are going down, and it always brightens my day when it says you have this many followers. So
Yep.
yeah, just like the record, put it on a playlist, share it with your friends. We're on Apple Music, we're on every streaming service.
All right.
Check out the EP. I listen to it every day because I think it's great. I'm very proud of it. And yeah, on Instagram we are no concern 615. Give us a like, give us a follow on that. Yeah.
All right.
I
Well, I
think yeah,
appreciate
we
you.
don't do Bookface, and yeah, we don't do X.
That's Twitter to me, buddy. Well, I appreciate you,
Yeah,
man.
it's always Twitter. Yeah, dude, man, yeah, it was great catching up with you, man.
It's like
Yeah,
everything that I had on these two pieces of paper here.
yeah.
You answered everything before I even had got needed to ask. So
Dude, I just blah 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 blah
hey,
blah.
that's what it's here to do, man. Now we just put it up online and stuff. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna cut this, man. I think I'm gonna leave it. I think it's a be.
Cool, man.
I think it's right at 2 hours. So
Yo.
yeah,
All right, cool. Let's wrap this up the right way.
yeah. All right. So you listed all your socials and the Spotify and whatnot. Let me ask you one more question here, real quick. Where
Cool.
were you at? Where were you at when you saw Gleam in the Cube?
Pretty sure it was a sleepover of me and my best friend Nate in Clarksville.
Okay.
Yeah. He lived on Fort Campbell and went to school there. I was at New Providence. He had the Lance Mountain cave drawings, Pal Peralta. I had the McGill. We were Pal Peralta Team Pal Peralta. We called ourselves Team Shred.
Nice.
I had a mini half in the yard. Yeah,
You
yeah,
did
dude.
it. You had said who had the half pipe down? Cage had a half pipe at his house, right at the warehouse, whatever it was.
I think
Cage
so.
had it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then when I first moved to Clarksville, that's where I met everybody was at that half pipe, and then it moved to Lance Smith's house.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We had one in our yard, in Clarksville. Like I lived probably like 2 blocks away from Northwest High School because you couldn't, like where we lived, I had to either walk or drive to school. I couldn't ride a bus to high school. Um, but yeah, yeah, we had gotten a half pipe from somebody. I can't remember. But yeah, it stayed in our yard until it died, you know. Um, it doubled as a doghouse for my German Shepherd. And then yeah, luckily we had a lot of construction across the street in my neighborhood. And whenever we needed coping, we'd get PVC pipe. Whenever we
Yep.
need nails, we would take them. Plywood, bam. Sun goes down, the workers go home.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, my friend, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I
Um,
appreciate you, man. Thanks for doing this. This was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go fix it because I left it running, so I'll fix it
Cool.
up, and then if it's too long, I'll break it up. If not, it'll be up Saturday morning.
Cool. I'm
Cool.
excited, man. All
All
right.
right,
Thanks
big
again for
dog.
doing this, dude. All
Later.
right, man. We're good. Late.